Good morning, folks. Vic here for thepracticalprepper.com, coming to you from the Swales, probably for the last time of the spring-fall season. You probably can't quite see the clouds starting to form, but we're going to have a storm come in on us Friday and Saturday, and we're expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow. So that roughly has me behind the 8 ball with a lot of chores out here to get the swales ready for winter. I'm going to be shutting down the irrigation today, so that'll get shut down and drained and secured for the year. I've put in place hoses, so I'll start checking trees for soil moisture probably every holiday, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas, and so on. And I'll check them for soil moisture, and if they need it, I'll do some deep watering at the time. So I'm standing in the first runoff bowl for the water reclamation that we did through the permaculture group. That's the main spillway to Media Luna. So all this was done this year. What I'll show you in a few minutes is we finished the down section in the lower bowl, and I just finished up the lower drainage yesterday. So that rock work is all into the north end of the main swale spillway. So that's all set for the winter. I did do a couple other things where we have the rolling dip. I actually came in with some green base, and I have kind of smoothed the dip out, but I've added more run out. What happened is that we've got a rolling dip. The grade up is creating it's not going to create erosion problems. It's going to create people tearing it up with their vehicles. That's what's going to end up happening. So this green base will pack in, become part of the road. I think we're still going to have enough to handle the water flow. And if not, what I had done earlier this year is from just about where the camera's standing right now on that rolling dip all the way to the road, I had this chip sealed. So I don't have to worry about this road having major issues, and it's easier for snow removal in the winter. So I think that said, I've made some adjustments here that I think are going to work fine. We'll monitor them over the year. So if you look back, you'll see netting here at the end of the post swale. One of the additions that we made was we rescued a second dog so that we have the start of a pack, so to speak. That simple addition has created consequences downstream. One is that they were tearing up the little grassy area right there on the corner. So I've staked that, and I put some temporary netting up, trying to change their pattern to not wrestling right there, but wrestling somewhere else. So that's one thing that we had to do. I've been a little bit behind in getting things done, but I did a lot of stuff earlier. I planted more trees. So I've got some good solid overstory trees started, some black locust. I brought more of those in. So I've got 3 or 4 of those. Some of the other plants are doing better. Some are not doing as good as I'd like to. I brought in some elderberry. That seemed to be doing good. My vines are taking off, so that's good. I think we're going to really see some stuff next year from the vines on the swales themselves. I do have onions planted on the swale, which I've got to get out of there fairly soon, or I may wait until November to get them out. But I also planted some pumpkins. We planted some squash, which is growing, and I'll probably harvest whatever is there off. Now the pumpkins might last a little longer. They actually look pretty strong there. And with all the stuff we got out of the garden, I really don't need the pumpkin, but I'm kind of playing with it to see what it does. So other than that, we pretty much finished this end of the rock work and the drainage. And now the other thing I need to work on is the rolling dip on the far end. I've got plenty of rock in, so one of my next chores, and probably during the winter, is I'll actually start digging that in and setting rock. With the winters here, if they're not real heavy, I tend to get a lot done during the winter. It's quieter. There's not really a lot of stuff to do in the garden. No view of the swales. Everything's kind of in dormancy, so let it go. I will finish the hoop houses. That's something I'll finish during the winter. That's easier to do. Right now, I'm trying to actually get the house completely prepped and ready for paint. We're trying to get painting done. We just need about 3 60-degree days, and I think we'll probably get those probably first, second week of November for sure. We'll get a few of those days, and when we do, we're going to get the house and the shop repainted the way we want it. So I'm diligently working at that as well. So anyway, I'll walk you around. I'll show you that lower spillway. Do a little walk. I'll show you the kind of the road that comes up, and then we'll walk through a little bit of the swales. Water control is really interesting with the swales. I'm finding that my trees need less frequent but deeper watering, and the rest of the plants need just a general watering on a more on a lighter depth and a more on a much regular scale. Let's put it that way. So where they might need some water, you know, every couple days, and when it's hot, they may need it every day. They only need a little bit of water just to kind of keep moving. Where the trees, they can go quite a while and then deep water them and then let them dry out. So I haven't been monitoring that this year, and I will be monitoring much more of that as we go through next year. Also planning to put in a lot more nitrogen fixers. You know, I did put some other plants in, and we've had some pretty good success. There's a couple that just I've had no success here with, and I will let those go. Move on to something else. Move on to what is productive. So it's still something that you just continually work on, and it takes time to get everything together. If you look over there, you'll see the black dog. That's Jake. That's actually a full-grown 4-year-old, and he's a mix. He's the other one we rescued. So he's actually smaller than Rusty, who's 2+ years. Very different demeanor, but they play together real well. So I kind of like the companionship. So let me get it off the tripod here real quick, and we'll do a little walk around, and we'll talk about stuff that's out here and let you see it up a little closer. So hang on, be right back. Okay, we're back with you from the lower spillway. So this is the north end of the tow swale, excuse me, not the tow swale, main swale. North end of the main swale, and this is the other rundown, the other rock rundown. So the bowl's right up on top, and then runs down to here. And this is basically the level sill, and this is the spillway that I had built originally. Still there and all getting grass covered. We have the other inspector here, and the newest inspector. Hey, Jake. Yeah, he just wants to be around. I think he's going to be a camera hog. So a lot of plants are doing well. A lot of them are starting to go back, kind of close down for the winter. So this is actually rootstock. It's R11 rootstock that I'm just kind of planted and letting it grow, and when I need to. The grafts that I did not take, but I kept the rootstock. So we've got some, like this one right here. It's got some green, it's got some bud. It's kind of just dropped off as it's starting to get lower in the temperature. I've got some trees that didn't make it, and I'm starting to do some chop and drop. I'll probably be doing that. We're going to get this snow. I think once this snow is through, then I'll come down and do some chop and drop and finish up some of the things that we need to do down here. So got some trees doing pretty well. I'm going to stake them. Another unintended consequence of having 2 dogs. The new one likes to dig, and we're trying to change his opinion of that, but you know, I think there's only so much I'm going to do unless I just cordon all this off, and frankly, I'm not going to do that. Now, what's really interesting is that right there is, this is pea, and this is pea that we had planted originally, and it's coming up, and it's coming up all over the place. The other thing that is a late comer is daikon radish, and we're getting a lot of that. Here's more pea. Got some other, this is Siberian pea shrub right here, and it's kind of dropped its leaves and went dormant already. Here's more peas. I've got daikon all through here that's growing. We're going to be doing some harvest of that, and I got a couple I harvested on the other side I'll show you. But this is kind of the main swale. Now, I didn't replant any of this, so all the growth that's here is from chop and drop seed that's just kind of taken off and took off itself. There's the pea. I don't see any peas yet, but a nice green vine. This is daikon. You can see it's just rattled all through here. This is one of my apple trees. I think it'll do better next year. I'm going to wrap and stake these guys up for the winter. But we're getting a lot of things we didn't plant. Here's orech. Orech has been kind of hanging around. I usually, you know, strip a whole bunch of it off and just cast it. Another small tree that I thought would make it, and it was I believe this is a nectarine. No, it's an apricot. This one didn't do really well. So here's an apricot here that didn't do well. And let me show you. Let me swing over. Let's look up. That, same apricot. Toe swale, doing great. Go figure. I don't have the answer for that. More daikon, more pea. Look at all this pea coming up. It's just amazing. And, you know, I've got certain trees that, like I say, they were nitrogen fixers and they just didn't work. Yeah, the one I've had the most problem with has been bush clover. Has not done well. I mean, you can just see all the, growth that's just come up here and here, and it's going to snow starting probably tomorrow afternoon. We're due to get 2 to 4 inches. So it's time to shut some things down. So there's one of my vines right there. I think that's a blackberry. And I've got my other berries kind of along this edge. I thought this tree was gone, but I've taken care of it. It's coming back. And I think it's gonna make it. So let me walk you over here to the toe swale. You know, the big grass project we did in here didn't do anything, so I'm looking more at what I need to do to soils to get rid of thistle and to increase kind of everything else. Let me see, we pulled some daikon. Here we go. So here's some daikon radish. I actually broke this one off like an idiot. That was a big daikon. And take that up, clean it up, throw it in your salads. It's really good. But I got a whole mix of stuff in here and need to go in and start cleaning things up. Got my hose laid out. I've got some trees next to each other, same variety. Some did well, some didn't. So looking into what we can do to them next year. Anyway, that's kind of a look at where we're at. You know, everything's still moving along. We're still learning every day. It's more of my berries. I got one here and one over here. Yep. They're doing well. Actually, the one on the left actually had a couple berries this year. It was pretty tasty. Let's see if I can run down this. Where is it? Okay, so here we still got onions. They're still planted. You can just see them. Here's one. Get down pretty quick. Here's our little pumpkin right next to one of my. It's still for to dry out. I think I'll need to cut that one loose pretty quick, but let's run down here. I think I got. Looks like my jujubee's kind of gone dormant. The one over here actually produced about 3 nuts this year, so it's kind of cool, but I think they're all dormant now, so they'll be ready for next year. Anyway, that's where we're at here today, and thought I'd give you a quick update. I got tons to do here before this storm hits tomorrow. So with that, I'll say see you later. Next time you see it, you'll probably have snow all over. So take care, and we'll see you the next time.